I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here.
You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality. Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
That is
and
the
getting the hair
best
done
shit
and,
fucking
shopping for
ever.
dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that like playing with the kids.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Said your old man ain't got no heart. Why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys.
Karen
Good afternoon, folks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Can you, I mean, it's in the air. It's in the air. Man. No, not that. Not that. No. Jesus Christ. No. Not that either. Okay. Victory. Victory is what I smell, folks. It's coming. It's on its way. It's on its way. I believe this. I believe this with all my heart. If there are steps forward, people, I mean, how can we deny? How can we deny? You know, like I realize, like, real quick, actually, before I get started, let me give a quick shout out to Mazza Media. Mazza Media is awesome. Please subscribe to Mazza Media. He's amazing. And no, is my audio messed up? Or is Cherry just trolling me? I feel like Cherry's just trolling me. It's like, I mean, she's bitter because her birthday's every day. So who knows? See, everyone always says it sounds good. Like if your birthday was every day, you know what I mean? Like if you were a cheese loving birthday girl every single day, you know what I mean? So, okay. Anyway. Anyway, so big shout out to Mazza Media. Big shout out to Brian LTL. And when I was on Mazza Media's channel, stuff was just happening. He decided to jump over to the Canton Select Board meeting, and some shit went down in the Canton Select Board meeting that I've never seen. Now, people were yelling at each other. That I've seen before. But what I have not seen is anybody on that select board taking any type of accountability for anything at all whatsoever, or actually doing the slightest thing to even appease the people of that town. So I saw Chris Albert give an apology, but an empty apology, but an apology nonetheless. I saw the chairman, or whatever you call the dude who sits there, the in the middle, state that Kevin Albert, excuse me, who works for the Canton Police Department, who they said in regards to an investigation that took place 2 years ago. Gee, I wonder what that could have been. In regards to an investigation that took place 2 years ago where he was directly involved with Trooper Michael Proctor. And in lieu of everything that's happening with Trooper Michael Proctor, as of the 13th of this month, as of the 13th of June, I think, even, he has been on administrative leave from the Canton Police Department. So, yeah, good stuff. Now I realize, because I mean, if I go to my Twitter, which I'll just go ahead and do, because I see some of you people in the comments are doing the same thing, and that's fine. That's fine. You guys are more than entitled to your feelings about it, more than I am. You know, you guys are locals. So now, this is interesting because where's what I posted, man? Hold on. Why can't I find it? Hello. Oh, here we go. So let me read some of the comments on here. So I posted, Kevin Albert on administrative leave from the Canton PD pertaining to his involvement with Trooper Proctor in the investigation into the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. So some comments here. One says, I think it's about that time he lost his police equipment while in a cold case investigation with Proctor and they got drunk. Great point. Troopers are toppling when they fall down. They ain't no weebles, because what will weebles wobble? I this is a lot to read out loud. So, and then of course there's this dickhead, this complete and total moron, Eric Mulholland. He just keeps showing up. If you guys are on Twitter, if you guys are active, posting and commenting on Twitter when it comes to the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case, you're you know who this Eric Mulholland dude is, and he's a troll and a douchebag. And he's like, absolutely a lie, but what does that matter to you, right? As if I didn't sit there and listen to the Canton Select Board address this and make this announcement, and that's where I got the information from the dude on the Select Board. Like, I heard him say it, So, but this guy's just latching on to his delusions, and he's like, it's absolutely a lie, but what do you care? Nobody even liked or even commented on his comment. The dominoes are beginning to topple. Got to be from that time he lost his gun and badge in Mikey's state car while they were playing grab ass drunk. Right? Time to pass the cheese. They will all be made very tempting offers to preserve those pensions. And then here's the stuff like paid administrative leave, more like paid vacation. With pay, paid leave, with pay, so and other people are just saying false, not true. Like I'm just gonna lie about that. And here we can watch this real quick. This is from Good Citizen. This is just a clip. Thank you for clipping this, Good Citizen.
An additional statement, Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave while an outside, and please be quiet, while an outside independent investigation is being conducted relative to his actions in a case he investigated with Michael Proctor approximately 2 years ago. Kevin Albert was placed on leave on June 13th and will remain on leave until the results of the investigation are provided by the outside independent investigator. All right.
All right. First on the agenda for tonight, Mr. Scollins and Mr. Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative. Additional statement, Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave while an outside.
Now, that's interesting because, he made it a point to say Chief Rafferty has done this. I wonder who had the Select Board make this announcement. It's not, no, the Canton Police Department, the entity of the Canton Police Department. The Canton Police Department has decided to, because that's usually what you hear. What you don't usually hear is someone named the chief by name, giving them full credit for this one very, very public move, right? Because it's absolutely, when I was on with Brian LTL, I spoke a little with Rita. It was hard she couldn't hear me. I could hear her. There was a thing going on with, Brian was trying a new thing with getting phone calls and whatnot. And, they could hear each other. She couldn't hear me. You guys could hear me. She couldn't. And she was also very, very upset, which we'll go over some of that later. But she was also very still heated from something that had taken place earlier. It was a lot. And when I was talking to her about it, she couldn't hear me. And I was saying that it was a good thing. To me, see, the thing is, to me, this is a step forward. And Rita, I understand she was, you know, she's looking at things from an inside perspective, of course, and in a grand scheme of things kind of way too. She sees all of the corruption, and she sees all of the little ins and outs of the corruption that are taking place in that town. And she understands fully, and she sees exactly what this is and what they're trying to do. I was merely making the simple point, and I stand by this point. I stand by this point, and this point being that this is a step forward. It's, even though it's with pay, even though it's a paid vacation, it's not a punishment. And I'm not looking at this as a punishment. What I'm looking at this is an action taken by a system that is starting to get scared. That is an action taken because they feel intimidated. This is an action taken because they are worried about how they are looking. The world is watching them now. It's not just the people in Canton who they've been bullying. It's people like me and people much bigger than me coming from places outside of Massachusetts who are looking in. And this is what's worrying them. This is what's worrying them, is the outside world being able to see this. It's like an abusive spouse, right? Only leaves bruises on you where people can't see. An abusive spouse who threatens you and says, if you say anything about this to anybody, I'll fucking kill you. Basically, an abusive spouse who is dependent on the ability to operate, and the only way that they're going to be able to operate is in the shadows, behind closed doors, without outside interference looking in. That's the only way. This is what an abusive piece of shit would do. But now people are starting to look in the windows, and then it's okay. Hold on, you know, let me look good here. Let me start cleaning up. Let me be extra nice. This is what's happening because they're afraid. They're afraid of intervention. They are afraid of federal intervention. And the federal intervention threat is absolutely real, because if it wasn't real, they wouldn't take these actions. Because I have learned this. I have learned this simply from watching the last few months Canton Select Board meetings and how these people sitting at that table right there treat the people in those meetings. I've watched it for months and months. And so they don't ever even acknowledge anything that these people get up there relentlessly. Rita especially gets up there relentlessly. Every time there's a meeting, has a prepared statement, make sure that her voice is heard, make sure that she's respectful when she delivers it. Now, she's never acknowledged, and none of anybody else who goes to those select board meetings are ever acknowledged. But now something has happened. Action has been taken. Now, it's not much action. It's useless action. It doesn't do shit. All it does is tell us that they're starting to get nervous and they feel a threat. They're picking fall guys to fall on their swords in all of this situation. Again, remember, he made it a point to say Chief Rafferty has put Kevin Albert on administrative leave while his brother sits right there. And his brother gave this fake ass apology for acting a certain way. for acting like this.
Take a picture of who? Oh, I took a picture. Yeah. Taking a picture is instigating?
No, Colin was leaving and then he decided
Taking
to
a
come
picture?
up to us.
So you're, so what?
He came up
So
to
what?
us.
What did I do? He came
We
up
were
to us.
walking on a sidewalk.
We were
We're allowed
walking
to walk
in.
on a sidewalk. No, we didn't.
Justice for Peter Berger.
And there's this guy. He just threatened Turtle Boy. Now, just before that little piece that we saw, that announcement of Kevin Albert's administrative leave being made at the select board, he had made an apology, which I'll try to find.
You'll beat my face. You could, right? You seem really intimidated. You seem really intimidated. I'm glad you said that on film. I'm glad you said that on film. Oh, really? Gonna see? Just in case you were entitled to feel bad for these people at all. This is who they really are.
Now,
Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick of your shit. I'm sick of your shit. Oh boy.
Oh, look who it is. Look who's here. Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick of your shit.
I mean, these are the McAlberts, dude. These are them. This is very funny to me. This is very funny to me. These are the McAlberts. It's mind-blowing. Let me see if hold on. I'm gonna stream only because I know he's got it. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna watch a little bit of the select board meeting. All right, make sure to give this a like, guys, if you haven't already. Thanks to Brian LTL for clipping this.
And spoke about the need to update the select board's administrative code as it relates to standards, policies, and ethics of select board members. After submitting my comments, Town Administrator Charlie Duty let me know that his office would work on this, and they thought it would make sense to perform a complete update of the administrative code, not just this one section, and that made total sense to me. I offer my sincere thanks to Mr. Duty as well as to Jen Kamelian from the Select Board office for all of their work on this issue. However, the revision to the standards, policies, and ethics seems to have gotten a little derailed. I'm not sure if it was due to an attempt to include other boards, or maybe this is going to fall under the bylaw.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I did miss a couple of super chats. I'm sorry about that. Amy Landry, thank you so much. Wow, y'all gotta check out the Trial 4 on Netflix. Okay. Thank you. I don't think I've watched that. Nikki Johnson, thank you. Is any of y'all going to Aiden's court proceedings tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.? There will be people out there. There will be people out there. And they will be peaceful. So if you join them, please be respectful. Follow the lead of the usuals that are out there and their example. I would implore you to. But yes, they encourage as many people out there as possible in support of Turtle Boy.
Bylaw Modernization Committee. I'm not sure. But either way, we continue to see that certain select board members continue to ignore the spirit of the current guidelines, notably swearing at and threatening to assault an individual on the sidewalk right in Canton Center. I stand here today to renew my request for the select board to take action on this matter. You represent the town and all the citizens, not just the ones who voted for you. And yes, as public officials, you are held to a higher standard. This continued behavior reflects poorly on the town and has the potential to expose the town to liability. To be clear, this is not about the Reed case or any other matter. It is about leadership and leading by example. It is disingenuous to sit there and object to lack of civility when one of your own members acts in an uncivil manner with no comment or consequences from the rest of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Hell yeah, man. Yo. Dude, I love this. That was very well said. And I love how she pointed out that it makes the town subject to litigation. These are taxpayers. You know, they don't need another expense because one of the fucking people that they vote for, that they voted for to be fucking a leader and represent the town, acts like the way that we just showed you he acts. So, you know what I mean? Like, these people are rightfully pissed, yet they're constantly classy. This is the kind of thing that needs worldwide exposure, at the very least national exposure. What goes on in these Canton Select Board meetings. These people should be heard. These people should be used as an example of how to do it. And I don't mean the people on the select board. I mean the people who speak up in the town and address the select board. Those people.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Nikki Johnson, thank you. A member sent T-chat to Aiden last night saying Sean McDonough, inside scoop, told Howie Carr that Brian Albert talked. That's a lot of hearsay. That Brian Albert threatened a juror for count 2. Anyone hear about that? I can't find it. Well, I mean, do you want people who heard about it, or do you want people who have proof of it? I mean, do you want to add more names to the list of people that are there? I'm just giving you shit, Nikki. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, that's something I would definitely like to know about for sure. I'd like confirmation on that. But thank you. I appreciate it. But I mean, we know that in the text messages. Now, do I believe that? I mean, not really, because it's a rumor, but at the same time, do I believe that it's very likely to be true? In a sense, simply because the text messages state that they felt intimidated by Brian Albert sitting there in the courtroom. Now, what that indicates is all that is proof that they felt intimidated because he was staring at them from the gallery. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that he actually threatened somebody. That doesn't, it's not proof of that. So I'm of the opinion that that's just as much proof of that being true as it is proof of someone just being like, well, you know, let me just jump to that conclusion because in those text messages, they said they felt intimidated. So as far as that goes, I would like to have proof of that. I would like to have proof of that because that would be amazing. Do I put that past Brian Albert? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But even still, I'm of the opinion that if someone can testify to this and people were talking about this in the jury room, that's enough. Because why would they feel intimidated by Brian Albert? That's the interesting question. Why would they feel intimidated by Brian Albert? They'd have to know something about him. Otherwise, he's just another guy in the gallery, right? I mean, it would also dictate that they felt that he was a shady, dirty motherfucker, the same shady, dirty motherfucker that Alan Jackson made sure that the jury knew that he was. Apparently, it worked. Because now the jury is looking at Alan Jackson or looking at Brian Albert like, dude, this guy's fucking scary. Looking at all the other testimony and being like, for some reason, this dude feels like he's got a lot of power and people are afraid of him. So that tells me that these people bought the third party culprit defense. They ate it up. You know, I mean, so people who are sitting there saying it's not believable, it's absolutely believable when you show proof. And that's what the defense did. They showed proof all through this shit. All through that trial. They discredited every single one of the prosecution's own witnesses. Trevor, thank you so much. What interesting is the chairman is Lucky's brother. Wow, that is interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's what I thought I saw Tom CPU say in the chat. And if Tom's still listening, what's up, buddy? That's what I thought I saw Tom CPU say in the chat. I wasn't sure though.
They're not going to answer anything.
Hello, Ken. I'd like to reintroduce myself. My name is Colleen O'Neill, where I formerly worked at F&F Power Equipment on Walpole Terrace in Canton, Mass, alongside my longtime boyfriend, Jeffrey Farrington, a longtime Canton resident, whose father retired as captain of the Canton Fire Department. Recently, we were informed by the town secretary, Charles Duty, that our case regarding commercial vehicles parked overnight was on the agenda. Today, an executive session that was held at 6:15 p.m. tonight was held to discuss litigation concerning Walpole Terrace. Despite enduring significant harassment while working in Canton, Massachusetts, I have since moved my career to Boston, specifically working on Mass Ave, known as Massencast, where individuals facing severe drug addiction and dual diagnosis mental health disorders reside on the streets. The ongoing harassment from Canton, including unjust fines, unwarranted visits from a sexual predator Canton cop, Eric Wade, and personal property issues involving another corrupt Canton officer, Charles Ray, who altered zoning regulations in 2016, has compelled me to leave the area. I now collaborate directly with the Massachusetts state government to provide housing for people with severe mental health illness. I have reached out to Governor of the Massachusetts, Maura Healey, and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu regarding Jeffrey Farrington's property on Walpole Terrace, proposing the construction of 40B housing for housing undocumented immigrants. The town of Canton has caused immense emotional distress to our business and personal lives over the past 13 years. Tonight, I speak out in hope that Canton residents will support a small business that has thrived for over 3 decades, contributing to taxes and community welfare. It is crucial to recognize that 40B housing in Canton, Massachusetts is our last option to halt this relentless cycle of lawsuits, police misconduct, and unfair fines that plague running a business in Canton, Massachusetts. This clown town of Canton has caused nothing but harassment to a small business and caused extreme emotional distress to Jeff's and I personal relationship. This harassment needs to end.
All right. Wow, she was great.
These people don't care. Just sit there and set their little time and their buttons.
Brian,
I would like to,
these people don't give a fuck.
Some questions I have for you guys, since we were afforded the opportunity 2 weeks ago to address items that were listed on an agenda with the reappointment of the police chief, and I had planned on going through and asking each one of you guys how you voted and what you some of the questions you asked her were. How was the determination decided on to reappoint Helena Rafferty to a 1-year contract? Did you interview and assess her performance one-on-one, or was it done as a group?
Ooh.
Does the chief recognize the missteps that have occurred in the Canton Police Department investigation?
Thank you on the up and up. Watch Trial 4. They've done all this before. The same situation that Karen Reed is in Massachusetts has a long, dark history of this type of corruption. Scary as hell. Thank you. I'll check it out. What's it called again? Trial 4. Okay. Is it new or?
In the death of the officer of Officer John O'Keefe. Can you tell us what some of the questions you asked her were? What, if anything, did you ask her about her department's lack of following proper procedures and policies? What, if anything, did any of you ask her about the importance
I see what you did there.
Separating witnesses and recording witness statements? What, if anything, did you ask her about the collection of evidence, the proper storage of evidence, and the chain of command on evidence collection? What, if anything, did you ask her about recognizing and
This is
adhering to
great.
conflicts of interest? You know, such as when the chief at the time, Chief Berkowitz, called District Attorney Michael Morrissey's office at 8:30 a.m. on January 29th and talked about the Canton Police Department recusing themselves because of a conflict of interest. When through testimony, we learned that the Canton Police Department actually did not adhere to this recusal. We had a Canton police officer, Kevin Albert, arranging witness interviews days later after they were recused. At 8:30 a.m. on the 29th, the state police took control of this investigation. Why were the Canton police officers in the Sallyport at 5 p.m. on January 29th? And why was an ATF agent also in the Sallyport? The ATF has no jurisdiction on this case at all. Yet Brian Higgins was allowed to be there. Who were the three officers that were not identified at 34 Fairview? Did any of you ask her how an inverted videotape was turned in as evidence? Did any of you ask her how 40 minutes is missing off the Sallyport video? How about the library video? And what, if anything, was done in regards to the testimony in the text messages read from State Police Sergeant when they were driving around the Cape in a State Police cruiser, shitface, and the Canton Police officer, Kevin Albert, lost control of his badge and his gun? Were they ever recovered? Was there any disciplinary action taken? I think these are just a few of the things that come to mind. This is your job to ask these questions, not mine. We are the taxpayers of this community. We should have been afforded the opportunity to ask these questions 2 weeks ago on an item that was listed as an agenda item. You were in violation of mass open meeting law.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, that dude was awesome. I love it. So, like, you got to understand, these people right here that are talking at this meeting, these are the real heroes of this entire Free Karen Reed thing, because it's bigger than just Karen Reed. It is. This is now Karen Reed is doing a hell of a thing here, making a hell of a sacrifice here, because she is fighting a system. She knows that she is being framed and she can prove it. M and TZI, thank you so much. Does anyone know who the McAlberts were at the meeting? Not sure. As I'm going to continue playing it, but as we go on, maybe we'll figure that out. But I know Chris Albert is this guy in the black suit sitting on the left side of the table, like ostracized. It's like, go sit over there by yourself, bro. Don't sit near us right now. Over here acting a fool outside, chasing people around, threatening to fucking beat their faces into the street and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Go sit over there. So like, these people are the biggest heroes in this whole thing. Like, Karen Reed inspired a lot of these people to fight, and Turtle Boy did as well. And Turtle Boy is definitely a hero in all this, but the hero is those folks speaking at the Canton Select Board meeting all the time. It's the people who live under this umbrella of corruption and who are now just those regular folks with regular jobs, without YouTube channels, without blogs, without anything, just their voice at those select board meetings and their power of voting. Those are absolutely the biggest heroes. Turtle Boy did amazing things. And I realize people say Turtle Boy is the hero, and in a lot of ways he is, don't get me wrong, but the hero, the sole hero in all of this is I mean, put it like this, it's these folks. What Turtle Boy did is incredibly heroic, but what he did was he told these people in Canton, here, get on my handlebars and I'll tow you there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. You know, get on my shoulders, I'll give you a boost. Because the world wasn't listening yet. But now the world's listening to them. And this is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, these people are starting to feel scared. They're afraid. Chief Rafferty is afraid. You know how I know that Chief Rafferty is afraid? Because Chief Rafferty made sure that this select board put it out that it was her. She is responsible, not the Canton Police Department. She's responsible for the decision of Kevin Albert's administrative leave. It's important that the public know it was her. It's very, very important. See that effort, that move, and that effort, that statement was read like that, tells me that she's scared. This is what we've been waiting for. Now, it doesn't mean shit. It's a slap on the wrist. I've been saying this about Michael Proctor too. Blah, blah, blah. Pending an investigation, before we actually suspend him, we're going to, and this is after the trial. This is after the trial. Once he was under IA investigation, once he was under IA investigation, they should have told him, you're on administrative leave until they should have not allowed him to continue working cases. What was going on as far as the Karen Reed investigation, the Officer John O'Keefe investigation, that was already public. We already knew. All of that information was public as to how he conducted that investigation. Tully knew it. Everybody knew it. Everyone knew it. Now, this is the actual issue right here. You have to understand that there's a pattern, there's a strategy here that if you can see through it and you speak up on it, then it doesn't have the effect that they're hoping for. But they are looking for people to fall on their swords, right? I said this a long time ago. I predicted Proctor was going to be a fall guy. They're going to have him be the one to fall on his sword, and they're going to act like the Massachusetts State Police is just, hey, wasn't me, it was this guy. Wasn't us. We didn't have nothing to do with that. But that's not the problem. Michael Proctor is not the only problem. Michael Proctor is the product of a problem. Diane G, thank you so much. Chris Albert is a Skinner. Giannetti. Giannetti, yeah. I forgot about Giannetti. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Is these people are now afraid. They weren't before. You could tell by the way that they treated the people of this town in past meetings. But after these people speak their minds, there are things that take place that I've never seen take place before, which is someone on that select board takes some kind of accountability, and another one actually expressing that things are getting done and things are being changed. Things are changing. Because people, I've watched these people stand up there at these select board meetings, meeting after meeting after meeting for months and months and months since I started talking about this case, and they were doing it before I was talking about this case. Diane G gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Congrats to Doreen, Jeff Z, Cherry, Shelly Babes, May Cronin. Right on. Congrats, guys. What's up, Scott McGinnis? These people have been doing this and speaking up about the issues with this case and with the Canton PD for a long time, and they're just blown off. And Chris Albert clearly just walks around town acting like he owns it and does whatever he wants, behaves however he wants. This is what we've seen proof of this, that these people, this select board does not care what those people are saying when they go into that, when they stand up in that select board, in those select board meetings and speak. D Fox, thank you so much. Appreciate you. The McAlberts get really mad when you say Colin was in the house. Thanks for all you do. You are my favorite channel. Wow. D Fox, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's awesome. I love when people say that I'm their favorite channel. It's just, it warms my heart. So the seeing Chris Albert behave as though there are no consequences to his actions, he has no worry of consequence to his actions, all of this time, and then seeing him finally apologize tells me that he's afraid of something, because he didn't give a shit what these people were saying all of this time. These people have been complaining about his dirty bullshit for a long time, and they're never heard. It falls on deaf ears. Sometimes they even deny them of the right to even stand up and speak. We saw that happen. Mazza Media was in there taking footage of it when it happened.
Chris Albert.
Ms. O'Donnell?
The American Revolution began in 1775 as an open conflict between the United 13 colonies and Great Britain. Many factors played a role in the desires to fight for independence. Not only did these issues lead to a war, but they also shaped the very foundation of the United States of America. The Americans felt that they should have equal rights to the...
I met her when I went to Boston. She is really, really nice. Really, really nice. And always smiling. Very, very smiley and kind and pleasant. Just an incredibly pleasant disposition. I mean, everyone was like this there, you know? Everyone was. And she was just, extra, just extra nice. And I don't mean extra in a bad way, the way the kids use it. I mean, just amazing, fantastic.
To the Englishmen. The British, on the other hand, thought that the colonies were created to be used in the ways that best suited the Crown and the Parliament. This seems a lot like our current reality in Canton. This conflict embodied in one of the rallying cries of the American Revolution: no taxation without representation. To me, this sounds like our current day Canton. While we pay all our taxes, our services, leaders, and police departments only service the entitled, selected few, while those entitled in our governance try to silence our concerns. Another driving force behind the revolution was an outcry against the judicial system that was in place, offering yet another airy comparison, ironically enough, involving 6 British soldiers. After 6 British soldiers were acquitted and 2 dishonorably discharged for the Boston Massacre, the British government changed the rules. From then on, officers accused of any offense in the colonies would be sent to England for trial. This meant that fewer witnesses would be on hand to give their accounts of the events and led to even fewer convictions. Wouldn't it be nice to watch Proctor's hearings for his indiscretions? This makes matters even worse. Jury trials were replaced with verdicts and punishments handed down directly by colony judges. Over time, the colonial authorities lost power over this as well, because the judges were known to be chosen, paid, and supervised by the British government. Again, dauntingly familiar. The right to a fair trial by jury of their peers was no longer possible to many. John Adams once said, "Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of the facts and the evidence." What frightens me most is even after watching the same trial for 10 weeks, so many still blindly trust and follow the corrupt and avoid the facts and evidence that would have convicted Karen Reed. There is lack of it. To bring justice for John O'Keefe, rather, they chose to keep supporting those who have factually been proven to be corrupt and dirty.
Thank you, Ms. O'Donnell.
To those
Ms. O'Donnell, that's it.
who find our
Ms.
fight
O'Donnell,
for truth,
I'm going to ask you to
justice,
settle down.
and our American rights.
All right, listen, bro. Why don't you just, like, there was a real easy fix to this. Because the whole point of managing the time of each person speaking, and I know that they're all against it. Rita was very vocal yesterday about how she thinks it's ridiculous to only give someone 3 minutes to speak their mind on the town. I can't disagree with her whatsoever. I can't do that. But I can understand also that they have to control the time in order to give everyone a chance to speak. But if everybody, let's just pause there for a second. Let's talk about everybody's chance to speak here. What if everybody's chance to speak? What if everybody decided to forfeit their chance to speak in order to let her continue with what she was saying? Because she was saying some very, very important things, incredibly important things. And I don't think that there's anybody in that room that would have not been willing, happily, with enthusiasm to give up their 3 minutes to let her speak. I'm going to play it to the end, I promise. But before we get to all that, because this goes a certain direction here. But instead of proving her point about Canton by silencing her and cutting her off, instead of doing that, why wouldn't you implement a little democracy and say, hey, we can change the rules a little bit? Since everybody here, there's a lot of people that want to speak, that are in line to speak. I could see that what she's saying is very inspiring, and everybody seems very attentive to it. So I'll allow her to continue if we can all take a vote. And if you guys if there's anybody willing to give up their 3 minutes to hear what she has to say here. They didn't think of that. This is why these people don't believe that they are acting in their interests. And it's not at all unfair to jump to that conclusion. Because if this were a democracy, then they would have read the room and been like, okay, wait a second here. Because of those people, they should have been the most enthusiastic to hear about the history of our United States democracy. They should have been the most enthused to hear these very, very beautiful insights into the democracy of this country, the cornerstone of this country, the pillars that hold this country up, that built this country, the foundations that this country was built on. She's talking about these things and how important it is and how she doesn't feel that this is happening in Canton. So why prove her right? Why prove her right, elected officials of Canton? Why prove her right? Why not do something a little radical, just a touch radical, and read the room and ask the people if a few people are willing to give up their 3 minutes so that she can continue what she's saying? But this doesn't occur to them. Let's watch on, shall we?
Right.
I'm going to ask you to leave,
so
Ms. O'Donnell.
Unacceptable to tonight.
Officer.
I quote Captain John Paul Jones, 1779. I have not begun to fight.
Thank you, Ms. O'Donnell.
And she's done. And she's done.
There's people that hate. Hear these people? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We live in America, dude.
These people. Ms. O'Donnell, please.
Talking to me, but I will stay quiet. No need to leave.
exercising my First Amendment.
Ms. O'Donnell.
Why?
Okay, I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak now.
Why are they kicking her out? Even though she went just a couple of seconds over the 3 minutes and she was done. See, I couldn't catch any of this because I was watching it on Maz's, and Mazza kind of had a bad connection at the time. But we saw that there was definitely something going on, and we were able to hear the Chris Albert apology and the announcement about Kevin Albert. But when this was going on, we were just kind of like, wait, what? It was glitching real bad. But now that I see it, I mean, she was done. She was done. I don't get what the problem is. Why are they booting her from the meeting? Because she said something very patriotic? I mean, that would infuriate me I don't blame Rita at all for being as upset as she was, especially now that I see what upset her.
Ms. O'Donnell, you're being disrupted to the meeting. I'm asking you to leave. Thank you. Thank you.
I have nothing to be for. I haven't broken any laws.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. I'm answering you.
These people, the room is so divided.
I will stand here quietly. She only went over.
People
a
don't
few
want
minutes.
truth.
Minute. Okay, I'm gonna.
I
Come on, we're in crisis for crying out loud. I know it's my imagination. I know it's my imagination.
Yeah, these
folks, please be respectful. Ms. Lombardi, this is it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, listen, Rita Lombardi, and I can't believe I'm standing here about to say what I'm going to say. My ancestry goes back in this town to the very early 1900s, and I've always had respect for the Canton Police and the Fire Department because my ancestors served on them proudly, and I always admired them. And I'm shocked that I'm having this discussion right now. But anyways, the issues that we've had in town relate to safety and trust issues. And
the skin in the game that Rita's got, man, is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it, not only does she live there, but she's lived there proudly. Her roots are there. Like, her roots are so deep that how is she not supposed to feel passionate about what's going on here? How is she not supposed to feel how she feels? I mean, if she's sitting there and she's telling you that her family goes back to the turn of the century, to the early 1900s, and people served for the city of Canton. They served proudly. And she's probably thinking on a constant basis what her great-grandfather must be thinking right now. What her great-uncle must be thinking right now. You know, I'm just naming random possible relatives. I don't know what they did. But I'm saying, like, imagine what they must be thinking is what's got to be constantly going through her head. That's got to be, in a way, torture. Rita's a badass for having to live with this all the time and just putting her fear in the back seat, because I promise you that there's parts of her that are scared. But the thing is that she's more pissed off. Rita gives me the vibes of somebody who is more pissed off about being scared than being scared. And I know that feeling, and I know a lot of people here in this chat knows that feeling. You get sick of being scared. And then you got nothing but fucking cajones. Now, no choice. That's just it. The cajones, they gotta come into effect. Right? They gotta come into effect. When you get sick and tired of being fucking scared, you got nothing else but fire to spit. You know? I mean, look at what's happening right in front of her. You know what I'm saying? Look, imagine how Jen O'Donnell must feel right now, going through what she just, like, reading what she just went through, holding back tears while she was reading it. And she was reading that with pride. I sensed pride and I sensed shame just not even fighting with each other, just both there. Pride and shame. And it's like the shame smells and the pride's just looking at the shame like, bro, you know, like, could you leave? Could you just leave? It would be better for everybody if you just left, you know, because you know what I mean? That must be what was going on in Jen O'Donnell's head the entire time she was reading that, dude. Imagine what she felt when she was writing it. And then this asshole's going to minimize it by going, okay, your time is up. Your time is up, Miss O'Donnell. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Miss O'Donnell, going to have to ask you to leave. You're kicking her out? Because what? She went a couple seconds over the 3 minutes? Or because you're passive aggressive, like, you know, your little dick couldn't handle what's going on here. And the fact that you have to make an announcement, you actually have to say something that appeases these people who you work for, by the way. Your little dick can't deal with the fact that, you know, it just has to be passive aggressive. The little dick's way is passive aggression. That's always the little dick's way. That's always the cuck way. Passive aggression. And that's what this was. That's what this was. Well, we're going to have to separate ourselves from Chris Albert, and Chris Albert's going to have to do this fucking apology, and then I'm going to have to tell the whole world that Kevin Albert is now on administrative leave and tell them that they got to win. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take it out on Jen O'Donnell for saying nice things about the country and saying how we're not living up to it. So I'm going to prove her right, and then I'm going to silence her, and I'm going to kick her out, and I'm going to weaponize the police to remove her from here so everybody knows who's boss and who's really got the biggest dick, even though mine's tiny. Put a microscope to it, it's bigger than anything. I guarantee. No, seriously. Do you want to call an ex of mine? Do you want to find out? Do you want to find out? You want to call one of my exes? She'll tell you. She'll tell you. Just let me get into the bar.
Last week or whatever, you approved the police chief's contract, and many of us were opposed to that. And I just want to share some of the reasons why we have trust issues here. In 2018, the Canton Police Department responded to a car accident on Pleasant Street near Meadows, but did not locate the driver. An hour or so later, a passerby located the body of Craig Casey. This last year, when questioned by a concerned citizen, Chief Rafferty's response was, it wouldn't have made a difference to his survival. Instead of owning this failure, that was her explanation. In 2021, the Canton Police Department ruled Sandra Birchmore's death a suicide. It was recently confirmed that Sandra was in fact murdered, something many citizens already knew. Yet there has been zero acknowledgement of this policing failure by Chief Rafferty or an apology to Sandra's family that I am aware of. In 2022, the Canton Police Department responded to the scene of Officer John O'Keefe's murder. The mishandling of the crime scene, the investigation, and the evidence collection was gross incompetence at best and will be taught in criminal law classes for decades to come on how not to handle a murder crime scene. Instead of Chief Rafferty addressing these performance issues with appropriate corrective action, many, if not all involved, have been promoted. In any organization, rewarding poor performance not only damages employee morale, it increases employee turnover, both of which are extremely costly. Canton PD has an 18% turnover in the past 2 years. Oftentimes, it is your best employees who seek employment elsewhere, not the performance problem. If unchecked, your organization will continue on a downward spiral. In the John O'Keefe murder trial, we learned that it was Chief Rafferty who turned over the Sallyport surveillance video to the Mass State Police. We also learned that in addition to 42 minutes missing from this footage and people disappearing from the screen, and the footage was inverted, something no one has ever heard of in their life.
Thank you, Sarah.
6 weeks it took her to report the February accident, which almost cost the man his life. And now we're being sued for that. And we're going to get sued for all these other cases as well. Policies and procedures are great, but there's no consequences when they're not followed. Just rhetoric that we'll do better next time. That just doesn't cut it. The Canton Police Department and this town is facing countless and costly lawsuits as a result of their actions. We do not feel safe. And that is why. Okay, I'm not speaking for you because you're part of the selected few. I'm talking about me, common folks. I'm talking about me, the random citizen. That's who I'm talking about.
Thank you, Ms.
Anyone
Lombardi.
who's related to the McAlberts, you're safe, but not us.
Thank
So
you, Ms.
stop it.
Lombardi.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Go, Rita.
Thank you.
Running over here. She's getting yelled at and yelling.
Ms. O'Donnell, you said you were going to be quiet. You got disruptive. It is time for you to leave.
Now, see, okay. When I was watching this on Massis because of his internet, I thought at first that Rita and Jen O'Donnell were having a problem. And I was like, I'm really confused here. I have no idea what's going on here. But Rita was pissed about the way they were treating Jen O'Donnell because they ran together. They helped each other campaign. Richie, the fence guy, thank you so much. Those three women have bigger balls than any McAlbert. I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Ms. O'Donnell, it is time for you to leave.
Miss O'Donnell, it's time for you to leave.
All right, can we just start our meeting?
No, I'm not starting the meeting.
What do we do with her?
Thank you, Buzzing for Truth. Appreciate you.
Ms. O'Donnell.
That's what I think happened too.
No, I'm not. It is inappropriate. No, it's inappropriate. Uphold the law the way it's intended to be upheld.
Wow, this is fucking crazy. Thank you, Brutally Honest.
I'm upset because I feel I'm just no.
Yo, this dude needs to fucking back up, bro.
Same thing.
Ms. O'Donnell.
Do you not see that?
Ms. O'Donnell, you're disrupted to the meeting. You're being disrupted to the meeting. It's time for you to go.
I'm right, though. I may be disrupting the meeting, but I'm right. It's my fucking right.
Thank you, Ms. O'Donnell. Thank you.
There you go.
Go, Jen.
I agree. She said, I might be disrupting this meeting, but it's my fucking right to do so. I'm an American. Hell yeah. Good for you.
No.
This is what's happening.
Thank you, Ms.
This is not only happening in Canton. This is happening in your towns too. People are being silenced. People, they don't want people to speak up. They don't want people to fight back against corruption. This is happening in your towns and cities. That's why you need to get involved. I'm going to start getting involved in my town, my city.
Thank you, officer. All right, before we get on to the next agenda
I'm going to give
item,
Brian a wet willy.
we have two statements to read. So, Mr. Albert, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, as many of you know, I've had two recent verbal altercations with members of the public outside of my
Everybody busts it out laughing. Hold on, I gotta hear that one more time.
Members, you know, I've had two recent verbal altercations with members of the public outside of my. I've had two recent verbal altercations with members of the public. I've had two recent verbal altercations with members of the public outside of my role as a select board. Despite the tremendous harassment, stress, and anxiety that my family, extended family, and I have been subjected to over the past 16 months, my interactions were inappropriate, and as an elected official, I am held to a higher standard, and I understand that the residents of Canton expect public officials to always conduct themselves professionally and focus on the business of the
Guy's a
town.
joke.
I apologize for my recent reaction and will refrain from any
Brian,
further
dude,
public
he's really-
incidents
he's
that
like,
I'm becoming
it's a fucking joke.
as
Fuck this guy.
a member of this Canton
Hell
Select
yeah.
Board. Thank you.
There's people cheering him. There's people cheering him.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. In
Those
additional
people
statement,
cheering don't
Let's
want
hear that.
justice.
Chief
Let's hear that shit one more time, bro.
That the harassment, stress, and anxiety outside of my role as a select board altercation. Okay, as many of you know, I've had two recent verbal altercations with members of the public outside of my role as a select board. Despite the tremendous harassment, stress, and anxiety that my family, extended family,
Bro, right away. Like he has to lead with that. He has to lead with playing victim, bro. You gotta love that shit. That tells me everything I need to know about you, dude. Like, you have to lead by playing victim, despite all of the stress and all the abuse and my family, blah, blah, bro. Your family fucking covered up a murder, dude. Stop it. Your family covered up a fucking murder. Everybody knows it now. Like, it's not even like, oh, did they do it? No, you did it. You fuckers did it. Like, that's not even a thing anymore. Like, that town isn't sitting there going, ooh, this guy's shady. This town is looking at you like, what in the fuck is going on? How did I end up fucking living in the goddamn Twilight Zone? Like, literally, I live in Canton, and I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone because this dude is one of my elected officials. Like, we know that they covered up a murder. We know it. It's not even like, could they have done it? No, you fucking lied in open court. You and every member of your family lied in open fucking court. Now, I don't know who killed John O'Keefe. All I know is that every single one of you motherfuckers that sat on the stand and lied had something to do with the cover-up. Because if you're lying on the stand about a murder, well, that is a cover-up. That's covering it up, isn't it? You fucking pieces of shit. So stop it. Stop it. Like, everyone here is laughing at you, dude. Nobody's taking you seriously. Everyone's laughing at you because they're like, this is just a matter of time, you know? Like, we're sick and tired of this shit, but we're laughing at you because we know it's a matter of time, bro. Like, everything about you tells me that you fucking helped cover up this murder of a Boston cop. And you tried to frame an innocent woman for it. Not to mention all the other dirty shit that you do here that I got to live with. Like,
and I have been subjected to over the past 16 months, my interactions were inappropriate. And as an elected official, I am held to a higher standard. And I understand that the residents of Canton expect public officials to always conduct themselves professionally and focus on the business of the town. I apologize for my recent reaction and will
bro, I apologize for my recent reaction, dude. Like, not only did you fucking do what you did in fucking public, dude, you were basically encouraging your children and their friends to do the same thing. Like, you were encouraging it. Nobody, at no point did you be the father figure and the select board guy, the leader of the town, and go, hey guys, everybody go inside. We're going inside. Fuck this guy. And, you know, whatever. He's a fucking piece of shit. If you know, I mean, whatever. Dude, say whatever the fuck you have to get these people inside. Right? But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He sat there and encouraged all of the shit talking and all of the threats and all of the coaxing to get him to walk over in front of D&E Pizza to get, I guess, beaten on by a bunch of dudes. And, you know, Julie Nagel. Buzzing for Truth, thank you so much. His testimony, what are your duties as a select board member? I'm still learning, really. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Buzzing for Truth. Trevor Maverick, thank you so much. You can tell he didn't even write that joke, right? Somebody else did. Clearly. Probably Jen McCabe. But I mean, dude, just look at these people. This guy's fucking brother, is the subject of the next announcement. This guy, we just watched a video of what this guy is supposedly apologizing for. And then his brother is the subject of the next announcement, who happens to be on the Canton Police Department.
Refrain from any further public incidents that I'm becoming as a member of this Canton Select Board. Thank you.
There's people cheering him.
Well, I mean, I know, people. I don't think the people are cheering him so much as they're cheering the fact that he apologized. These people are not used to hearing that shit there. So I'm pretty sure that that's why they were cheering. But I'm sure there were some people that were probably cheering him. I'm sure there were some. As Scott said, that there's some real tension in that room. So, yeah, I'm sure there were some people that were cheering.
Just people cheering him.
Thank you, Mr. Albert.
And I can't tell.
People cheering don't want justice.
Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave while an outside, and please be quiet, while an outside independent investigation is being conducted relative to his actions in a case he investigated with Michael Proctor approximately 2 years ago. Kevin Albert was placed on leave on June 13th and will remain on leave until the results of the investigation are provided by the outside independent investigator.
At least he's not active. You know what I mean? At least he's not fucking active. Yes. The thing is they are conducting an investigation. So when people are like, oh, well, where's the punishment? They have to formally, the same way that they have to bring charges. They have to formally do an investigation in order to fire him, I think. So I'm not sure. I don't really know, but I would imagine so, that it takes a little time to actually be able to prove it. Because if he has a union rep or something that goes, you people are fucking firing me for nothing, it's bullshit, I can fight this. Then, but I don't know. Buzzing for Truth, thank you so much. They're Alberts all in the audience for that reason. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that was McAlbert's cheering. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. That makes sense. Sorry, Brian. So that absolutely makes sense. Yeah. Because I was like, all right, good. But I was cheering because this is the fucking first time this goddamn fucking select board has ever heard anything even remotely. These people have even heard any sense of accountability being taken whatsoever. We all know it's bullshit. We all know he's full of shit when he doesn't feel this way. Nobody who acted the way that he does actually is ever going to mean that apology. You know what I mean? That's never going to be the case. Nobody who actually means that shit is ever going to act the way that he did. Trevor Maverick, thank you so much. So instead of paying him to serve the public, he screwed up and the taxpayers got to pay him to stay home. Sad story. Right. Yeah. It's got to be infuriating for sure. For sure. But this is just them trying to act like here's how this works. Let me go ahead and get out of this. Here's how this works. So I firmly believe that this is how it works. But we know that there is an ongoing federal investigation spearheaded by Josh Levy, the acting U.S. attorney in Massachusetts. And this, if Michael Morrissey is being investigated, I am willing to bet any amount of money that Brian Tully is under investigation as well. Caveman, thank you so much. I believe he still has to go to work, but in the office, not 100%, but I believe so. Chris Albert is a joke. Agreed. Richie, the fence guy, thank you so much. He got that speech online. All he had to do was fill in the blanks, and he'd fuck that up. Yeah, probably. And he fucked that up, right? Probably. Thanks, Richie. So if Michael Morrissey is under investigation, so is Tully. Okay. And as I explained, I mean, the analogy I used with Mazda Media was like, I mean, you're not going to investigate Skeletor without investigating Beastman. You're not going to investigate Cobra Commander without investigating Destro. You're not going to investigate Megatron without investigating Starscream. You know, this is how this works. Guaranteed. Tully's his boy. Tully's Michael Morrissey's boy. Okay. And he answers to him. He absolutely answers to him. And I believe that Tully is the muscle for Michael Morrissey, the one he sends out to do dirty shit, the one he sends out to orchestrate the people doing dirty shit. See it, the one that he sends out to see to it. When he needs dirty shit done, he sends Tully to see to it. That's totally what I believe. Now think about this. What they're trying to do is cut off the limbs before the cancer spreads. Right? Cut off the limbs before the cancer spreads. That's what they're doing to Michael Proctor right now, and they're trying to alienate Michael Proctor from the Massachusetts State Police. And they're trying to do so he can't take any retaliation or anything like that. And they're doing it very carefully, but they are systematically trying to amputate Michael Proctor from the Massachusetts State Police, because Michael Proctor is also directly connected to Tully, and he is directly connected to Tully in the John O'Keefe investigation. So what they're trying to do is make sure that it doesn't get to Tully, that Michael Proctor's cooties don't get to Tully, because if Tully gets those cooties, Michael Morrissey's going to get those cooties. Does that make sense? I know it's a weird analogy, but this is totally what I believe. Kevin Albert being reprimanded separates him from Chief Rafferty. This is Chief Rafferty separating herself publicly from the McAlberts, basically. Or at least trying to provide the appearance. Because again, when you have Chief Rafferty, the head of the Canton Police Department, she's going to have those connections to Michael Morrissey's office. And Chief Rafferty does not want those connections to Michael Morrissey's office. Or at least Michael Morrissey does not want Chief Rafferty's connections from Canton to reach him in his office during this investigation, this federal investigation. So this is all of a systematic little strategy here that they're trying to do. And Gail Kennedy, I completely agree. Too late. LOL. 100%. I completely agree. I think that it is way beyond that. I think it's way too late for that. I mean, no matter what, these actions, they're not going to make the FBI go, okay, well, I guess that's that, folks. Yeah, all right, ladies and germs, let's pack it up. Back to Quantico. Back to Quantico. Forget it. They suspended this guy and they're investigating this guy. Let's leave it alone. No, they want to know why they're being suspended. They want to know what's in that investigation too. This is all a sign of it's. These are all steps forward to everything that Sean McDonough has been saying is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. All of these things are steps being taken to that summit. I promise you that. Okay. Dina, thank you so much for the Venmo. Beautiful turnout at Morrissey Standout. Right on. Excellent. Yes. And there are people out there standing out. There are people out there protesting. And Beverly, thank you so much. I want to be a member. Love you lots. By the way, I'm 69 years old. Hey. So not flirting, but you would have been my type of guy. Keep up the good work. Okay, thank you, Beverly. Appreciate that. So now, yeah, a lot of people showed up for the standout to protest Morrissey, to protest the Massachusetts State Police. Yeah, again, this is an example of things getting done. Things getting done. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful thing to watch in real time. I have never, as I stated on Mazamedia's channel and a little on LTL's channel, I have never been more proud of being a part of something. And it is the public support that has brought so much attention to this case, and now people are seeing what's actually happening. So I hope that the stuff happening in Canton becomes a very, very public subject. Sorry, give me 1 second here, folks. I'm trying to find something. It's only... All right, that was Good Citizen. Why can't I find this shit? This is driving me crazy. What in the hell, man? Okay. Let me just try. Why is nobody talking about this? All right. Here we go. Let's hear what Boston 10 had to say about this.
Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave while an outside, and please be quiet, while an outside independent.
We have some developing news tonight. You just heard there. The Canton Police Department placed Detective Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave. The announcement came during the Canton Select Board meeting this evening. An independent probe is underway into his behavior while investigating a case with Michael Proctor 2 years ago. Also tonight, Kevin's brother, Chris Albert, who serves on the board, apologized for his recent verbal altercations that were in the public eye. We want to get right out to our NBC 10's Erin Logan. She was at tonight's meeting that was very contentious. She's joining us live there in Canton with the latest developments. Erin.
Now, Steve, that's also very telling. Again, people, right there, now you finally have a news source, a legitimate mainstream media news source who's now attending the Canton Select Board meetings. That means that there's an interest in what's going on. All eyes now are on Canton. This is, and it's thanks to this trial, and it's thanks to those people who are standing out and raising awareness. I mean, this, guys, you're winning. You're winning. It's going to take a little time, but you're winning.
Well, Priscilla, the biggest revelation is that Officer Kevin Albert has been placed on paid administrative leave since June 13th. His brother, Select Board member Chris Albert, also issuing a public apology, as you mentioned. But before all of this, a lot of heated public comment.
The investigation and the evidence collection was gross incompetence at best.
It started out calm.
Does the chief recognize the missteps that have occurred?
And quickly turned chaotic.
Take your hands off.
Speakers going over the public comment time limit, getting heated. Most of the comments centered around the Canton Police Department's initial investigation.
Thank you, man called Clay. Right on. Appreciate it. Thanks for supporting Karen Reed and the good people of Canton. Big love from San Diego. Right on. I love San Diego. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Investigation into the murder of Officer John O'Keefe in January 2022.
Your chief of police, your select board members are part of a cover-up. And that's earth-shattering for townies.
Canton resident Jen O'Donnell is pointing the finger at Select Board member Chris Albert.
Nice.
He's the brother of Brian Albert, who hosted the party that turned into the murder crime scene of Officer John O'Keefe. He's also the brother of...
See, they were not discussing this before. Boston 10 News was not discussing these things before. Again, people, these are small wins. This is yardage gained. Okay, you gotta look at it. Think of it like a football game. The people of Canton, by this being covered on the news and pointed out, this is the first down, folks. This is a first down. We'll take it. Let's go. Let's go. While we're hot, we're going to gain some more yards and get a touchdown here.
Of Canton officer Kevin Albert. Some news coming out about his status.
Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave.
The reason?
Conducted relative to his actions in a case he investigated with Michael Proctor approximately 2 years ago.
That decision about Kevin Albert's status was made on June 13th. From June 10th through 12th, Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, who's now suspended without pay, testified in the Karen Reed trial. Proctor admitted to partying with Albert in July 2022, months into the Reed investigation. In court, defense attorney Alan Jackson read these texts Albert sent Proctor.
It's bad! Exclamation point, exclamation point. I was hungover for sure today! Exclamation point, exclamation point. But he left his badge in your cruiser after a night of drinking. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Back at the select board meeting, an apology from member Chris Albert over his 2 verbal altercations in public. He referenced the stress and anxiety his family has experienced over the last 16 months.
Interactions were inappropriate, and as an elected official, I am held to a higher standard.
Some of the residents, despite the apology, feel so much damage has been done since the murder of John O'Keefe, a handful even calling for receivership of the Canton Police Department. Live in Canton tonight, Erin Logan, NBC 10 Boston.
Dude, why are they like, can you guys guess what annoyed me about that? I mean, was it more reporting than we're used to seeing? At least they're finally doing that. At least they're finally shining a light on the Alberts. At least they're doing that. There are people who followed this trial that didn't really gather this. The brother of the owner of 34 Fairview, the night John O'Keefe was killed, once they watched the trial and saw that there's some dirty shit going on by the people who were in 34 Fairview, imagine the people who didn't realize that Chris Albert, Brian's brother, sat on that select board. Now, what bothers me about this, the one thing that bothers me about this is, I mean, why didn't they say that it was that it was involving an altercation with Turtle Boy? Now, it's bad and it's good. It's bad because, I mean, the truth is that's what happened. These people harassed Turtle Boy. These people, they should have shown the footage is what they should have done, since it's very public. What they should have done is shown the footage of Chris Albert behaving the way that he did, because I've never heard of a news station not doing that. Just talking about recent actions that took place. They know that the footage exists. They have access to the footage. I have access to the footage. I don't need a special password for it. It's clipped and it's put out fucking everywhere all over Twitter. And news conglomerates are tagged by people who post it. So why aren't they showing the clip of Brian or of Chris Albert acting the way that he did? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess? I'll take an emoji as an answer in the chat. Nobody. Oh, there's one. Stifler's mom got it. Turtle Boy. Again, they'd have to credit Turtle Boy. They'd have to somehow credit him as a journalist. But see, it's good because people will, there's going to be a lot of people who are still going to look at that and go, well, what was Turtle Boy doing there? And it might be some bad publicity for Turtle Boy. It could be. I don't think it would be, but it could be. It's possible that it could happen. But it's bad in the sense that this is the kind of thing that could exonerate Turtle Boy from his charges. Because let's not forget that Turtle Boy is still out on bail. Turtle Boy's out on bail right now. So let's not forget that this guy acting the way that he did is a game changer for Turtle Boy's case. And the video footage, which is going to come into trial anyway. I mean, it's going to help. But this would also help. It would also help the public's view of Turtle Boy. But why? I mean, because what? They'd have to credit him for the footage is why they didn't do this. Why they made it a conscious point. You can tell by the way that this news clip was put together. They made a conscious point to exclude Turtle Boy's name from all of that. They said, oh, an altercation that took place. Failing to inform their viewers that there's actually video footage of it. That anybody, I mean, it's fair use. I mean, it's all over Twitter. It's shared everywhere. So it's very public. So what's funny is I'm not even sure they would have to credit Turtle Boy for the footage. But why wouldn't they? Why are they avoiding even saying his name is what I'm questioning. And they initiated the contact, not Turtle Boy. Now, they're never going to do what I did, which is sit up here, go over the footage, and break it down. You know, I had all the time in the world. We were waiting for jury deliberations, and I just went over it. I think I went over it like twice. And you know, you can't expect them to do that, but at least go, okay, well, these people who have currently a couple of these people actually have Turtle Boy was arrested for them being on a witness list and them feeling intimidated. He's charged with witness intimidation, and he doesn't seem to be intimidating anybody at all. And Chris Albert, as a matter of fact, apologized. Now that right there is huge for Turtle Boy's case, I would imagine. Nikki Johnson, thank you so much. What is or does receivership mean? I don't know. But this is absolutely helpful to Turtle Boy's case. I mean, Chris Albert publicly apologizing. If I'm Tim Bradle, I'm going to go, the guy admitted to wrongdoing in a select board meeting publicly with a public apology. He admitted and apologized publicly for behaving the way that he did. What he failed to mention in there was that it was Turtle Boy, but this is exactly who he's talking about. If I'm Tim Bradle, I'm using that apology. I'm like, that's an admission that this person is not at all intimidated whatsoever. Here we see him threaten, because you know he's going to play the video. He's going to say, here we see Chris Albert threaten my client. But on top of that, he apologized for it at a town meeting. So why is my client charged with intimidation of witnesses? How? Crazy, man. This is just insane, dude. Like I've never seen any shit like this in my life, man. And we haven't even gotten into this yet. So the Massachusetts State Police released this statement. Mazza read it while I was on with him yesterday. But they released this statement in regards to Trooper Proctor's suspension. And it says here, the State Police Association of Massachusetts statement regarding Trooper Michael Proctor's duty status hearing. So, of course, there were all those beautiful protesters out there protesting and protesting the employment of Michael Proctor during this status hearing. And it says here, every member of the Massachusetts State Police. Now it says, hold on, the following statement may be attributed to Brian Williams, president of the State Police Association of Massachusetts. Every member of the Massachusetts State Police hopes that the O'Keefe family finds peace, comfort, and closure as they continue to mourn the loss of their loved one, until the focus is shifted away from collateral issues and back to investigating and prosecuting the death of John O'Keefe. The justice his family deserves will be delayed. So right there, that's some gaslighting, manipulation shit right there. So right there, they're basically saying, well, we're so focused on the investigation into Boston police officer John O'Keefe. We are so invested in this, but there are distractions. And unfortunately, the justice for this this fallen police officer is just going to have to wait until the circus is over, folks. That's basically the vibe of that statement right there. The first paragraph of that. I mean, look at this shit. Every member of the Massachusetts State Police hopes that the O'Keefe family finds peace, comfort, and closure as they continue to mourn the loss of their loved one, until a focus is shifted away from collateral issues and back to investigating and prosecuting the death of John O'Keefe. The justice his family deserves will be delayed, so you can thank Turtle Boy and all of his distractions for that. That's the vibe coming off of that. I mean, that's real fucking professional, dude. That's real fucking professional. Jessica, thank you so much. Did you hear Sean McDonough on Howie Carr said that jurors never figured out the other agency was the feds? Yeah, no, I don't think they did either. It wasn't mentioned. It was slipped by Ryan Nagel at one point, but I don't think the jury caught it. And then it goes on to say, regarding the outcome of yesterday's duty status hearing for Trooper Proctor, the State Police Association of Massachusetts will never condone the unacceptable language used in personal text messages presented as evidence during the trial. To date, we have received no information to indicate that his suspension was the result of anything other than these text message exchanges. I'm going to read that one more time. To date, we have received no information to indicate that his suspension was the result of anything other than these text message exchanges. Okay? We would like to reiterate that useless is right. To reiterate that unless the department's ongoing investigation proves otherwise, yesterday's actions have no relationship to salacious allegations of cover-ups, collusion, or conspiracies offered by the defense. The decision to suspend him without pay pending the outcome of the investigation is disappointing because it shifts Trooper Proctor's punishment to his young family. His children will lose access to benefits such as health insurance. To mitigate the impact on them, a more reasonable action would have been a suspension that did not affect the medical coverage. As these matters continue to evolve, we thank our members who serve dutifully and with distinction. We are proud of the meaningful work they do each day. We also take the duty to family and equally represent them very seriously because of the obligations of the membership, and due to the department's ongoing investigation, we will be making no additional comment regarding yesterday's hearing. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. It's crazy that the person who wrote that statement underestimates the intelligence of those reading it so much. It's actually astonishing as well as it is insulting. But it's astonishing that this person is so fucking blind by their own power and their own position of power, and the lack of connection to anybody who they protect and serve is amazing to me. That they can't see the manipulation tactic here, trying to use Michael Proctor's kids for sympathy. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Because Michael Proctor is 150% responsible for his own children, A. B, Michael Proctor is also 150% responsible for his own actions. Therefore, C, Michael Proctor is 100% accountable for the fact that his children no longer have health insurance covering them. The father of those children is 100% accountable for the fact that his children no longer have health insurance. It is because of his actions that got him that. That got his kids that. Nothing else. So for them to sit here and try to blame, and it's almost trying to manipulate the blame onto Karen Reed. Like Karen Reed did something wrong. And some might be saying, well, yeah, she did something wrong. She murdered John O'Keefe. But the problem is she didn't. That's the big problem with that, is Karen Reed is factually innocent of this crime. So the issue here is the fact that Karen Reed did not do this, and it is absolutely very telling. It's very telling and very obvious that Karen Reed did not do this by now. It's very telling and very obvious that she didn't do this by now. But it's also very telling that the Massachusetts State Police is more interested in shifting blame than taking any accountability for themselves. They are afraid. They know that the only way to validate anything that has been done as far as their involvement in this investigation is if Karen Reed is convicted of this crime. But she's not going to be. So this is their tactic here. This is their strategy. They believe, okay, well, if we shift all the blame on Karen Reed and we get the public to think, oh, well, it's her fault because they underestimate you locals. Can you believe that, Karen? Disgusting. That's what they think of you. That you're sitting around some fucking table with fucking some plastic covering and flower patterning with foldable legs. That's what they think of you. And you're sitting there fucking ripping butt after butt going, can you fucking believe that fucking disgusting, that gross Karen Reed? Ew. That man's paw kids. Can you fucking believe her? Can you fucking believe that this man, what if one of those kids gets cancer, God forbid? I just saw on the television some girl, she had cancer. Poor little girl couldn't have been more than 11 years old. Totally her head was shaved. What happens? What if that happens to one of Michael Proctor's kids? That Karen Reed is going to just walk around signing autographs and shit. That's what they think of you. That's what they think you're going to sit around and say. That's not accurate. That's what they think of you by making this statement. They think you're just fucking dumb fucking Bostonites squeezing 10 kids in a one-bedroom apartment going, Karen Reed is evil. You know? It's like you're incapable of looking at facts. Like you're incapable of seeing all of this shady shit that was uncovered during this trial. That was, a lot of it was already public before the trial even started. Like you're incapable of that. Of just like realizing this shit. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. All right, guys, thank you for waiting. I'm so sorry about that. My power got knocked out there for a second. But I appreciate you guys sticking around, hanging out, because we're not done yet. So, yeah, as I was saying, this Massachusetts State Police is not taking any accountability at all whatsoever. This is also very telling, this statement. Notice that it says very clearly here. It says very clearly here that to date, we have received no information to indicate that his suspension was the result of anything other than these text message exchanges. So basically what they're trying to say here is that it had nothing to do with the investigation. We stand by the integrity of the investigation other than the text message exchanges. That stuff, we totally, obviously that shit happened. Receipts, what are you going to do? But the other stuff, even though there's plenty of receipts for that too, but we don't give a shit. Don't look at that. Look over here. Don't look at that. The integrity of the investigation was fucked from the word go. And it was mostly Michael Proctor's fault. I'm talking about, it was fucked from the word go, just the way that the Canton PD handled it with leaf blowers and solo cups. And then when the Massachusetts State Police take over, they go, okay, and then we're not going to interview anybody. We're not going to search the house. We're not going to conduct anything. We're going to fucking smash a taillight. We're going to plant pieces of it. We're not going to find taillight. We're not even going to preserve the crime scene. We're not going to enter evidence into evidence. We're not going to do that for weeks and weeks and weeks. We're just going to do anything that you can think of for me to do wrong in this case, to do wrong, especially when it comes to investigating, the death of a Boston police officer. So, of course, they're not going to take any responsibility for that. And the fact that they just sat there and lied and said, we received no information. Dude, you received tons of information. It was called a trial. It was called a murder trial where everything was picked apart. Every bit of evidence that the prosecution was trying to do, everything that the prosecution was trying to prove was absolutely picked apart by the defense. And exculpatory evidence was presented time after time throughout this trial. And that exculpatory evidence, most of it, is something that was done wrong by the Massachusetts State Police. So, in looking at this, this is proof of my theory that they are getting Proctor to fall on his sword. Because again, what did I say before? I said that if they were to take responsibility, if the integrity of the investigation, the tactics used in order to conduct this investigation become in question, then that implicates Tully. And again, if Michael Morrissey is being investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office, I promise you that Tully is as well. I can guarantee it. So, if the Massachusetts State Police were to take accountability for all of how the murder into John O'Keefe, the murder of John O'Keefe's investigation was conducted, if they were to take accountability and say mistakes were made, what does that do? That puts Tully in the hot seat. What does putting Tully in the hot seat do? It puts Michael Morrissey in the hot seat. See, they don't want that. So that is the real nature behind that press release. That is all that was. Make no mistake about that. That was a way of trying to separate the Massachusetts State Police from Michael Proctor and using his inappropriate texts as a reason for it. But that's not the reason for it. The reason is because of how the investigation was conducted. That's the reason. Because there is, in fact, a frame up of Karen Reed going on here. In fact, this is happening. And then that moves us on to now I have not seen this yet. But this I have seen.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. I think we got a super cat.
Maniacal miss, thank you. Less blame shifting, more interest in the truth. It's the only way they will ever get this stink off them, and the only way they will get credibility back. It's not going away ever. So, also, hey, hey, back. Yeah. So, and tell the truth. I wasn't expecting that. I love it. Now, what's up, Sleuthies? Good to see you. Now, hold on a second here. Now, apparently a fourth juror has come forward. I haven't talked about this yet. A fourth juror has come forward. As we know, there were 3 jurors that allegedly came forward, and a motion to dismiss was filed by the defense in Karen Reed's case by Alan Jackson and David Yannetti. And David Yannetti and Alan Jackson both state that jurors are telling them, are informing them that there was a unanimous not guilty verdict on counts 1 and 3 for Karen Reed. So this is very, very interesting because now there's a fourth, and there's some people saying that there's now a fifth. So it looks like people are becoming more brave and coming forward and discussing this because they know that there is a person's life in their hands. And I applaud those jurors that are coming forward. And I believe more information is to come, but I'm going to go ahead and read this real quick. Yeah, I know the fifth juror is just a rumor until I see receipts, but let's see. Supplemental affidavit by Alan Jackson in support of Karen Reed's motion to dismiss. Alan Jackson declare, I am a partner in the Los Angeles law firm of Worksman, Jackson, and Quinn, LLP, and I have been licensed to practice law since 1994. I am counsel for Karen Reed, appearing on her behalf in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. On Monday, July 8th, 2024, I was contacted by Juror D, true name and identity withheld to mainstream and to maintain anonymity. Based on my conversation with Juror D and the juror's description of who he or she is, where he or she was seated, and certain identifying information, name and occupation disclosed during the voir dire process, I was able to positively identify Juror D as a sitting juror in the trial of this matter, including Juror D's seat position. Juror D told me that he or she decided to reach out to me because he or she was uncomfortable, quote unquote, with how the trial ended. Okay, sorry about that. He or she said that the last day of the trial was a whirlwind and everything happened fast. He or she recounted that his or her perspective was that the jury was brought into the courtroom. The note was read, the mistrial was declared, and the jury was then rushed out of the courtroom. Following a brief meeting with the judge, the next thing they all knew, the jury was on the bus. He or she described the end of the trial as very confusing. Interesting. This is wild. It goes on to say, Juror D said that it was very troubling that the entire case ended without the jury being asked about each count. Especially count 1 and count 3. Juror D explained that the jury reached not guilty verdicts on count 1 and count 3, and that the disagreement was solely as to count 2 and its lesser offenses. Juror D said that the jury actually discussed telling the judge that they had agreed unanimously on not guilty verdicts for counts 1 and 3, but they were not sure if they were allowed to say so. The jury believed that they were compelled to come to a resolution on all counts before they could or should report verdicts on any of the counts. After discussion, the jury decided to inform the court that they were deadlocked, and they expected they would get further instruction about the remaining decided counts thereafter. Juror D explained that he or she was confused and upset that such further instruction never came. Huh. Wow. Oh my God, Pete Terry, thank you so much. The statement about no jurors thought she hit him, and the repeat of that to me read it was unanimous, like it wasn't even a discussion. Okay. Well, no jurors thought that she hit him on purpose. That's specifically what it said. That none of them thought, at least that's in the texts, none of them thought that she hit him on purpose. That's the way it was worded. So that's important to differentiate. Wow. Such further instruction never came. Juror D explained that after the jury was excused and aboard the bus, many of the juries appeared uncomfortable with how things ended, wondering, is anyone going to know that we acquitted Karen Reed on count 1 and 3? No one ever asked about these counts. Juror D stated that once the case was over, he or she remained very uncomfortable with the result. He or she reiterated it did not feel right. He or she said that the part of his or her discomfort was that he or she knew that the jury had reached verdicts on 2 counts and Karen Reed might be retried on those 2 counts, and that's just not right, quote unquote. Wow. I inquired whether, in his or her opinion, other jurors would agree and acknowledge that not guilty verdicts have reached on count 1 and count 3. Wow. That's crazy. Juror D, without hesitation, said in substance, every one of us will agree and acknowledge that we found Karen Reed not guilty of counts 1 and 3 because that's what happened. Wow. So again, I'm going to repeat that. Juror D, without hesitation, said in substance, folks, every one of us will agree and acknowledge that we found Karen Reed not guilty of counts 1 and 3 because that's what happened. Juror D reiterated that he or she believes that it would be unjust for Karen Reed to be retried on either count 1, second-degree murder, or count 3, leaving the scene with injury or death, because the jury has already unanimously found her not guilty on those charges. Juror D further stated that if necessary, he or she would agree to testify in order to explain to the court that the jury unanimously reached not guilty verdicts on counts 1 and count 3, as long as his or her identity remained protected. So here you go. I mean, in summary, folks, this 4th juror is willing to testify and spoke for all the other jurors, saying, yes, we will all absolutely come forward and state that we voted, that Karen Reed unanimously voted that Karen Reed was not guilty on counts 1 and count 3. On count 1 and count 3. So on those counts, we all agreed, because that's what happened. So I'm getting a vibe from this juror that this juror in particular, Juror D, is scared, but driven by the need for the truth, driven by the compelled by the faith in the truth. Having conviction for belief in the truth is probably the best way to put it. That's fascinating to me. Conviction. Listen, I'm scared, but I'm not going to let this isn't right. I'm scared, so I want to remain anonymous, but I'm telling you right now that if you retry this woman on those counts, that is an injustice, because we all agreed that she was not guilty on those counts. You cannot retry this woman on those counts. This isn't them coming forward because someone compelled them to come forward. This is them coming forward because they believe that justice is not being served. This is the jury on duty. No better way to put it. When you say words like jury duty, this is a juror's duty. They are there to provide justice, to play a strong, powerful hand in justice. And it's not just John O'Keefe that deserves justice. It's Karen Reed as well. The law protects her. You cannot convict someone who was found not guilty of those counts. If she was found not guilty on those counts, you cannot convict her of those counts. You cannot retry her on those counts. That is double jeopardy. That is why the double jeopardy law exists. This is an example as to what the double jeopardy law was designed for. This is exactly what it was designed for. Alan Jackson stated this in his last motion. This is exactly what the double jeopardy law was designed for. It was designed to protect people from being retried on the same charges once they were already acquitted. So when I hear people say that double jeopardy doesn't apply here, and I'm sorry, I don't give a shit if you went to law school or not, you're fucking wrong. You're just wrong. And it's immoral. And if you're an attorney, it's ethically wrong for you to sit here and state that Karen Reed should be retried. Three different counts, 2 acquittals. 2 acquittals, 3 different counts. I mean, there it is. Now, Bev has an opportunity here. Judge Bev has an opportunity here. Judge Bev has an opportunity to do the right thing. But the thing is Judge Bev should be pressured. She should feel pressure to do the right thing. She should be feeling the same kind of pressure that all of these other people are feeling right now. That the people that are Michael Proctor's superiors, to Chief Rafferty, to Michael Morrissey, Trooper Tully, these people, all the pressure that they're feeling right now, Judge Bev should be feeling that same pressure. Because this is not something that you could chalk up to negligence if you do the wrong thing. If you push forward with this case to be retried, this is not something that you get to say, oops, probably a bad call. Because Judge Bev has already been fucking with people's civil rights. I mean, because I'm telling you, if she does this, then all of that is not going to look like she was just kind of messing with someone's civil rights. This is going to be her robbing someone of their civil rights, robbing multiple people from the people who are outside protesting. And she created this so-called buffer zone. From that to all of the bias that she has shown the prosecution throughout this entire trial, that's going to get a microscope put on it. To this. I mean, why didn't she give the jury instructions? Why did she rush calling that mistrial the way that she did? I mean, it was fast. She was quick on the draw with that gavel. I'm calling a mistrial. Boom. Over. Yeah, I get that she was tired. I get that. But everybody was tired. You don't think Karen Reed's tired? Bev, you don't think Karen Reed's tired? Karen Reed's tired. She's tired. She doesn't want to come back and do this all over again. And she shouldn't have done it in the first place. She should have never been on trial. This case should have been dismissed. Judge Bev should have ruled. She should have dismissed this case when the motion was filed to do so. She should have disqualified Michael Morrissey when there was a motion to do so. But she didn't. But I look forward to finding out if there is a fifth juror that comes forward. But I mean, if this person is saying, I mean, these are sworn affidavits. Like by Jackson filing that, he's under oath. He has to be able to prove this. This is, I mean, that's perjury if he's just lying on this thing. So I don't think he would do that. You know what I mean? I don't think he would do that. Now, this is just a very, very, very fascinating case. I am excited to watch it unfold right before my eyes. It is amazing, and I believe that everything that we've discussed here are steps forward. Absolutely steps forward. They may not be what we want right away, what we want now. We want to see these results, but we are seeing little results. And we're going to keep doing the same thing. They're going to try to appease us, and we're going to go, no, bro, that's not going to cut it. That's why those people standing out are going to continue standing out. They're going to continue protesting. Turtle Boy's going to continue writing. Turtle Boy's going to continue doing his live streams. All of us talking about this case are going to continue doing our live streams. Howie Carr is going to keep talking about it. You know, the news is going to keep covering it. People, we're living in special times. Special times. And before I go, it's fascinating. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but there's an influx of new followers that I'm getting on Instagram. That's great and everything. I'm just curious as to why that's happening. I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe somebody posted a new picture and tagged me on it or something. I don't know what's going on. Somebody with a lot of followers. It's kind of weird, but cool, I guess. I was just curious as to why that was happening. I have no idea. All day long, new follower. And I'm like, what the fuck? I haven't even posted anything. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere, folks. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going somewhere right now, but I'm coming back. I promise. Guys, I am going to wrap this up. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like on your way out. Really helps me out. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And all you new subscribers, thank you. I hope you enjoy the channel moving forward. And to all you guys that have been with me for a long time, I hope you're still enjoying it. And I'm grateful to all of you for being here. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for all your support. You're amazing. Guys, I do love you very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.